Hello and welcome. Today is a super special day for me. This is my very first project I'm making as a member of the Make the Day Special Stamp Store design team. I'm absolutely excited to have been invited, and I'm literally still flapping my arms. I'm really so happy that I've been given this opportunity, so let's dive right in. I'm using this super cute cat from a Newton's Nook stamp set, and I'm using Tuxedo Memento Black ink to stamp him out onto Neener Solar White cardstock because I'll be coloring him with Copics. By the way, all the supplies I'm using, they will be listed in the video description below this video, so you can immediately find out what I'm using there. And now I'm going to color this little guy, and I'm going to play some music for you so you can just watch me color. Alright, now that I'm done with this, I'm using the Timeless Tags 2 by W+9. I'm using this middle-sized tag. There are two other ones, a bigger one and a small one, but the middle-sized one is exactly what I need, and I'm cutting it from some Bazzill Marshmallow White cardstock. This is the same cardstock I'm using for like the entire card. And then I'm using this stamp set by Altenew, and I'm using the Chase Your Dreams, You Might Catch One sentiment, because that just goes so nice with the little cat that is hanging onto the balloon. And yeah, I spontaneously decided that I will emboss the sentiment, so I'm using my back here on the little tag that I die cut. And as you might have figured out already, the sentiment is way too big to fit on this little tag. So what I'm doing is I basically masked off half of the sentiment, inked up the other half, and now I'm just very carefully going to wipe off the little comma behind the word dreams. And I'm trying not to get onto the S because, you know, then I have to start over again. So I'm only going to stamp the first half of the sentiment onto this little tag. And please don't mind that the impression is not going to be great. The reason is that after I had inked up the stamp, sorry for my head getting in the way, after I had inked up the stamp, I had spontaneously decided I wanted to emboss it, and it took me a while and to find all my stuff, and so the ink dried a bit. So don't worry, we'll fix this. I'm using Judikin's Iridescent Sparkle Embossing Powder, and since I've used VersaFine Onyx Black ink, it's a pigment ink and it stays wet. That means that I don't have to use Versa Mark on like stamp it on top of the black. I'm simply pouring the embossing powder on top of the pigment ink itself. So now I'm heat setting this, and I just love this effect. It's like magic. Seriously, it's like, I don't know. It's magic for adults. It's absolutely awesome. I love it. And I'm going to show you why I'm using this embossing powder, because it has this absolutely beautiful sparkle. I mean, isn't that just gorgeous? It's so gorgeous. And of course, I need the other half of the sentiment, because otherwise it won't make a lot of sense. So I'm stamping the other half on the inside of the card. I just like the effect. You know, someone gets the card, opens it up, and beautiful. So, Mama Elephant, Femme Frames. I die cut a panel also from Bazzill Marshmallow white cardstock. Already prepared this. And now I am going to use the Landscape Trio by Mama Elephant to cut some clouds. After I had sponged the clouds, I have adhered them to like a piece of backing paper, because it's so much easier to then put this entire thing onto the card front instead of puzzling the clouds onto the card front. So that's what I did. And then I played around with the layout and I realized, I want to have twine on that card. In retrospect, I'm not sure if it was the best decision, but I went with it. So I tried to figure out how to use that best. And trying to figure out how much twine to use on the card. I mean, seriously, how much twine could you possibly use? But then I wanted to have swirls and everything, so it got very complicated. As you can see, I fiddled around with it for a while. Took me forever to get the placement of the tag and the twine right, and where to put the sequins, which are by Pretty Pink Posh. They're my favorite brand of sequins. And I'm just using some matte glue and seal glue here to adhere the sequins to the card. I'm not gonna bore you with all of them, don't worry. And then I put some foam squares behind the tag and the cat and adhered them to the card, you know, so it gets some dimension. And then I had prepared a bow that will go on top of this little balloon. And I did this, I did the bow extra because it just was too hard to tie it around the balloon itself. Or maybe I'm too clumsy, who knows, but this works, right? So that's already it, actually. This is the card for today. It has some dimension. It has this beautiful sentiment that matches the little cat on the outside. And, oops, on the inside it has a beautiful yellow post-it note. No, it has the other half of the sentiment. So you get the card, chase your dreams. You might catch one. I hope you enjoyed this project. I had a lot of fun creating it. I hope it inspires you to use your own supplies in some creative ways. And if you liked it, check out the Make the Day Special stamp store. You'll see the URL here, or hop over to my blog and visit me. Thanks so much.